welcome back to episode 37 of Talk and Dribble, NBA edition. We are well and truly into the conference finals of the NBA right now with Indiana v Knicks, T-Wolves v the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we've got a jam-packed ep for you today. We've got a lot to cover, don't we, Benj?
Yeah, you got plenty. The conference finals have truly heated up. It's currently 2-1 in each respective series, and as of recording, Minnesota and OKC are playing each other
100%.
to see who wins. Game
two.
four.
To make it 2-2. We had a huge blockbuster yesterday. Knicks coming back from 20 points down against the Pacers in Indiana. So that series has kept it interesting, which we love, with just a 20-point resurgence from Cat in the last quarter, which was crazy. And then, hopefully my T-Wolves can take care of business today and take it back to OKC 2-2.
Let's hope
One can only hope, can we?
Let's hope so, man.
Yeah, current score 14-15. T-Wolves are up.
I'm going for this.
Can't tell you.
Little green repping the Timberwolves. It's the first time I've repped the Timberwolves jersey
Can't believe this.
so far in the pod.
Only took 3 rounds of the NBA playoffs to
I've
come
had the
join
Lakers,
us.
I've had the Warriors. I'm finally on the T-Wolves wagon. Now that all my other teams that I actually like and prefer, I'm on the T-Wolves wagon, man.
That makes me happy. That makes me very happy, Ben. I love it. Hey, but got a big day today, especially T-Wolves, OKC, and historically has the most PPG per game in a game 4 history, averaging 34.9 points. So it's a minimum of 5 games to require.
Damn.
Averages 34.9. So heading into game 4 today, big expectations for him to go crazy. Yeah, in game 4, he averages 34.9 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 5.7 assists.
Damn.
So if we can get that out of Ant today and somehow wheel us into a series tying 2-2, that would be huge, wouldn't it? We'd love that.
Hey, he steps up at the big games.
100%.
You know, he really does.
Oh, it's great to see.
He wants the pressure on his shoulders. So
for sure.
Love it. Well, should we get into what it will mean if each team remaining wins the championship?
Yeah.
So there's 4 teams. We've got the Knicks, the Pacers, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves.
Yep.
All different historical impacts this will have, all different impacts on the players for the future. But what will it mean if each team wins the championship?
Yeah.
So we'll start with we've got 2 teams each.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, 100%. I'll start us off. Do you want me to start with Indiana? I'll start in the East first. So Indiana, I think, firstly, they have never won a championship in the NBA era. So they had 3 in the ABA, but never won one in the NBA era. So that is huge. First, to just do that and bring a championship home to Indiana is a massive thing. I think to do that, instantly boost Tyrese Halliburton to superstardom at just the age of 24. Instantly becomes a franchise icon for the Indiana Pacers. They've had blokes like Reggie not be able to do it. They had PG there, hasn't been able to do it. If Halliburton can bring this championship to Indiana, that instantly becomes just a franchise icon for the Indiana Pacers. Completely changes the narrative on star power for a team. We've seen these teams just load up on free agent signing after free agent signing, and the Indiana Pacers are one of the few teams that has just built naturally. They've made good moves. Obviously, their biggest move is probably trading away some bonus for a young Tyrese Halliburton and betting on his potential. So instantly, that would mean they'd win a chip without a top 5 MVP candidate coming into the season, which is unheard of, really.
They've just relied on smart trades, player
100%.
development, and their culture to actually just build this team.
100%. 100%. It's just a legacy catalyst for young players, really, and just a young core that they've kept together. Instantly, Rick Carlisle, you head to him, becomes one of a few coaches to win 2 championships. So if he wins this, he'd be the 15th head coach ever to have multiple championships under his belt. So that puts you in a class of your own with just elite. You're talking about the Phil Jacksons, the Steve Kerrs running around.
And that's with 2 different franchises. So I wonder how many have won with 2 separate franchises.
100%. So Rick Carlisle instantly become one of the greatest coaches we've seen, really. He's doing things unheard of, gone to an Indiana team and built them up and has just built up so naturally. And I think, 100% highlights a new way of winning. So you're talking about taking depth over superior talent. They've just built naturally, obviously just made smart moves. This whole playoffs have relied on depth and bench play, and it's really shown that throughout the Bucks series, throughout the Cleveland series, and now even shown throughout the Knicks series. Their depth has overcome anyone else's bench. So I think it's really just a huge thing of them showing that if you stick to the course, it can really just change the whole perspective of how to win a championship in the NBA.
Damn. And imagine if Halliburton leads this Pacers team to a chip and he's only 24.
Only
he
24.
quickly becomes one of the best playmakers, one of the best players in the in the NBA, and he's at 24 years of age. Like he was overlooked by so many teams when he was drafted. He was drafted by the Kings at what, 10, 11?
Yeah.
He literally said the Wizards called him that day. They had pick 7, I think.
Yep.
And they were like, "We're going to pick you," and then they called him like 10 minutes later and said, "Never mind." And they picked Denny. But all those sliding doors moments, 100%. Kings traded him away for Sabonis.
It's huge. Oh, and it's just huge to think like he went to Team USA over the summer and barely touched the court through their gold medal run. And now he's one of the only few players left in the playoffs that's actually leading his team to a championship. LeBron's not there, Steph's not there, KD's not there, AD's not there. Like, it's pretty impressive.
What team would you think would be doing better? LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, or Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's just showing, like, you just stick to the course with your young core, the players you've brought in naturally, and then just made smart moves for.
Yep. You
build some chemistry. It's not just arrogant players. That's the thing. You look at Indiana, it's such a humble presence they've got there. Everyone eats. Like, everyone eats. We saw Nembhard single-handedly win them the game in game 1.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot for a Halliburton and a Pascal to step aside and allow that from him. So they've just got blokes just doing the right things. Obi Toppin is having an resurgence of his career again. It's great to see. I think it really just shows you go for the depth over just stardom. We've seen the Bradley Beals, the Devin Bookers, and the KDs trio not work. Like, you'd think you'd compare that trio to Indiana's.
Yep. I know.
You'd think you'd take that all day. So I love
all these moves for these franchise superstar players, but guarded their whole team. 100%. Pacers stayed the course, made smart, timely moves. Mm-hmm. It was a risk getting rid of Sabonis when they did. Sure. He was an established player, an all-star. 100%. And then you make the risk on Halliburton and, bro.
We thought that was like a win-win trade, and then it's like it's really outweighing for the Pacers right now. So I love it. That's what it would mean for the Pacers to win a championship
and it'll be
this
interesting
season.
To see if they go from, this small market team and grow to an actual championship contending team every year and get the respect from the media, respect from the whole NBA world.
Oh, 100%. We've got 3 small market teams running around left. Literally. So it's huge. It's huge for the NBA.
I got the New York Knicks. What will it mean if the New York Knicks win the NBA championship? Probably the biggest historical impact for this franchise out of anyone left. It would be their first championship since 1973, ending a 52-year drought, the longest of any team still left in the playoffs. It would erase like decades of just organizational dysfunction, like front office chaos, all these playoff heartbreaks, like with the Patrick Ewing missing that game winner years ago. Mallow years, like every year, even a few years ago when they got the 4th seed, lost to Trae Young in the first round. Like, it's just been heartbreak after heartbreak. And even recently with Jalen Brunson last year, they lost to the Pacers with their whole team injured. So it's a massive historical impact in terms of the Knicks finally getting over the hump, getting the chip. It'll turn Madison Square Garden back into that fortress, even though they're not actually playing too well there this postseason. They're 3-5 so far. But it would turn that stadium back into probably the best basketball stadium.
Oh, New York would literally shut down for years.
It would be crazy.
A bloodbath. Win or lose, it's going to be a bloodbath in New York.
And at the end of the day, they're probably the most loyal and passionate fan bases like in New York. Like all the New York fan bases are crazy. The Giants, the Jets, the Yankees, the Knicks. And the Knicks are insane because they've just been they've been withheld success for so long. Like that ultimate goal they just haven't gotten, even though they always have marquee players. They always have they're always
such a big name. They're always going to be relevant to an extent, and then this will just be insane
the city of New York. And then the future player impact, like Jalen Brunson, he becomes, well, he already is, but he becomes a solidified New York legend overnight. He could be, if they win the championship, he is probably the most beloved Knick player of all time. Yep. He is. He would already be like a top 3, top 4. And he'd enter that tier of stardom that's like, at least from a Knicks perspective, that's only occupied by like Walt Frazier and probably Patrick Ewing, despite Ewing never winning a championship.
Yep.
But that definitely elevates him into that. And that would also elevate him into at least top, 6, 7 player in the league.
Yeah.
It would probably elevate him to a top 2 guard. Like, it's hard to kind of put him over Steph. But if he wins it, it's probably hard to put him over Shea as well. But at least a top 3, 4 point guard in the league.
Like, he's just a star, and I don't think anyone in the league right now steps up bigger than he does in the clutch. Like, he barely played in that last quarter, comes on with 2 minutes left, hits this tough running floater over his left shoulder straight away, just to pretty much seal it for him. So he is a game changer and one of the most cold-blooded guards in the league.
Yeah, and he proves why he's the clutchest player in the league. Him and Haley are probably the 2 clutchest players, and they're playing against each other. And even for players like Karl Anthony Towns, so much scrutiny over the years with Minnesota. I know you as a Minnesota fan were heartbroken to see him be traded away. It's probably been a win-win so far with both teams in the conference finals, but he'll finally get his flowers as a number one pick. Like he's not good enough to be the number one option on a championship winning team, but to be the number two option and a really good number two. He was all NBA this year. He'll definitely get his flowers. All the pressure will be off him.
Game 3.
Yeah,
like it
exactly.
was. Yeah.
Like, when you win the chip, the pressure, the scrutiny definitely dimmers. Because you've got that ultimate success.
Yeah,
and even Tom Thibodeau, like he'll finally get his validation for his like defensive grit and his hard ass coaching mentality. Copped it for so long, and a lot of people say that his coaching style is probably outdated in this modern game because he's always playing his players. Like his starting five literally just doesn't sit apart from, the other day. But he's tried it with the Bulls, tried it with the Timberwolves, and he's tried it with the Knicks and it hasn't worked as of yet. But this is the furthest he's gotten with this Knicks team. And, bro, it'll solidify him as one of like, top 20, top 30 coach of all time if he wins this chip with New York. Could be higher. If you win a chip with New York, it's a different kind of beast.
Yeah.
Like this, it's a massive monster.
If they're a household name.
Oh, it's crazy.
Bro, they can do whatever they want for the next how many years. If they win a championship this year, nothing else matters for New York.
No.
Like, it literally doesn't mean a thing after that.
The city won't sleep, bro. It'd be crazy.
It's going to be crazy.
And even going forward, could it attract future talent? Could it attract friends being like, bro, I want to be a part of that? Like
we saw KD go to Brooklyn over New York because they were so bad.
Exactly.
It's like that won't happen now. You will see blokes want to go there. That could literally attract a guy like Zion to possibly come to the Knicks.
Could attract a Giannis. Could attract a Luka down the track. Like could attract all this young talent. It could attract blokes who aren't even in the league yet. But it will put New York back on the map. Instead of being this dysfunctional franchise, this could be the success heading into, the 2030s or whatever.
100%.
But
I love it.
Yeah, that's the Knicks.
That's huge. That is huge. For me, I've got the Minnesota Timberwolves coming out of the West. Straight away, I think when you think of that, you just think of franchise transformation, cultural impact, organization credibility, which the T-Wolves have struggled for years. There is some sort of vendetta against the Minnesota sporting teams. I think we can all, they don't get any respect in the NFL and definitely in the NBA. We have been a bit of a joke throughout our whole time in the NBA. So that is just what comes to mind. And then market value as well for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So first, along with the Pacers, have never won a championship in the NBA era. We've made it to 2 conference finals before Anthony Edwards got there. And now we've made it to 2 since he's been there and possibly an NBA finals and possibly win. So if we win it this year, we'd be the only team apart from the Houston Rockets in 1940, 1994 and 1995 to win it from the 6th seed or lower.
Damn.
Which would be super impressive. So we join a historic change of just one team there. And I think, like we kind of touched on with Halliburton, it would launch Anthony Edwards, I think, instantly as the face of the league at age 24. He's got the charisma. He's got the personality. He's got the game. He's got everything to come along with it. It would instantly just push that narrative of him being that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant spawn of this new generation, which would just be huge for him. It would be huge for the city of Minnesota to have someone like that to lean on. I think cements Chris Finch as one of the best coaches in the league then. If he wins a championship right now after about 4 or 5 years coaching with us, every year we've improved. I think that instantly puts him at the top of the game. And you're talking about in the process, he's taken down someone like JJ Redick, Steve Kerr, Mark Dagnall, if we get past, which is the coach of the year, and then either Rick Carlisle or Tom Thibodeau to go win a championship. Those are some names to collect right there.
It for sure gives him a few years for his job.
We've seen championship coaches lose it pretty quickly, but it'd just be huge for him to get that on top, 100%. And I think a big one, someone who's been disrespected his whole career, is Rudy Gobert.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
I think as much as we hate it, as much as he's frustrating to watch, that cements him into the Hall of Fame with 4 depoys and a championship under his belt. There's no way you can't make the Hall of Fame after that. I think he already is a Hall of Famer just based on his resume. Obviously, when you watch him, it's not as pretty as his resume would say, but he's still making game-changing plays for us. He's still a game-changing defender. It's just he struggles offensively. But if he has 4 depoys and a championship under his belt, instantly becomes a Hall of Famer.
Oh, I think he is anyway. When you get 4, like you're going to probably be first ballot. But championship would definitely solidify that for sure. So,
and I think also we touched on with Cat, Big Julius. This would mean the world for him. I don't think there's a bloke in the league has been scrutinized more than this guy. To go from the Lakers to the Pels and then find himself at the Knicks plays elite basketball, but has had this storyline against him that he can't perform in the playoffs, which we've seen. He struggled heavily. And when you're doing it in New York, nothing is highlighted more than that. He's come to Minnesota, had a fresh start. He's balling out in the playoffs right now. This would be huge for him to get his career back on track and earn the respect of everyone in the NBA media. And along with Mike Conley, our man, Minnesota Mike, all year for the last couple of seasons, they've been saying, just do it for him. Just do it for Mike Conley because he deserves it. He's at the back end of his career. For him to win a championship would just be elite and put him as a really high quality guard for his entire career. Along with just pushes another small market team to the top of the league. We saw it. Golden State weren't the highest market team. Yep. Now they're one of the biggest stars franchises in the entire world. This would be huge for the city of Minnesota. There's been a curse against Minnesota teams, and they would finally break it. All right, after decades of heartbreak, that would just be huge for the Minnesota Timberwolves to do it, and really, 100% sets a benchmark for the underdog success that Minnesota sports are.
Love it. Yeah, it would mean a lot for the Minnesota Timberwolves. OKC, what would it mean if the Oklahoma City Thunder win the 2025 NBA championship? Would be the first championship for OKC since, relocating from Seattle in 2018. It would definitely redeem the franchise from the perspective of they had these championship winning, viable teams. Like they had potential with Westbrook, KD, even Harden, and then they had Paul George, Westbrook. They had these teams that were competing every year, but they couldn't quite get over the hump. This would give this franchise finally that chance to be the best team in the league and actually getting over that hump with this young core. And who knows what would happen for the future. Like they've got so much young talent, not even at their peak yet. If they win it with this team, bro, they could be the next dynasty in the league. Oh. And it is really like a Cinderella-like legacy. Like who would have thought trading away Paul George for a bunch of picks and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would have been the move that changed the franchise. Yeah. Actually, that's one thing. Paul George is essentially set up Indiana and OKC. Yeah, trading away Paul George got what did that get? Sabonis.
Yep.
So Sabonis went to Indiana, then Sabonis was obviously traded for Halliburton, and now Halliburton's their best player. And then Paul George for OKC was obviously traded to the Clippers for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and now they're starring. So Paul George is almost the reason why these two teams are in the conference finals.
Yeah.
But
how crazy is that? Rip PG, bro. You are just copping it even when you're not playing.
Even when he's not playing. Poor guy. And for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he obviously became the MVP not so long ago, but a champion and an MVP in the same year. That's historic in itself. But that definitely just fast tracks him to the elite tier of players with those legacies of winning a chip in an MVP year and just at such a young age, being the best player on a championship winning team. Chet Holmgren straight away becomes a key narrative of winning a chip at such a young age, and he's not even near his peak.
Yep.
He obviously was injured his rookie year, and then he was a fundamental piece straight away. And you see it in spurts, but this guy's development's going to be insane. And if he wins a chip early, it's bro, could he be okay, I'm happy winning a chip at OKC. Now I'm going to go to my own team.
Go just get the bag. Someone would pay millions and millions of dollars for that man.
Bro, he's going to get paid one day.
Yeah.
Definitely validates Sam Presti's vision, the OKC GM. That long-term rebuild that OKC have been going through, stacking up picks, stacking up draft capital, building from within.
Yep.
That isn't, as we said, isn't the normal way to go about it these days. People just gutting their team, getting superstars in, building a superstar team, throwing something to the wall till it sticks, see if they win. And it doesn't usually work. 100%. Majority of the teams are winning from building within, and OKC could be another one.
We've seen there's no patience in the league anymore, and he's one of the very few GMs that has stuck to the process. So it'd be, that's 100%. The natural build of a team is what you'd love to see.
Yep, that's it. And Thunder, if they win the championship, they almost become the blueprint for a small market franchise everywhere. I think they have probably more of a shot to win it over Minnesota. I hope Minnesota wins. But smart drafting, patience, building a culture, that could definitely be the blueprint. Everyone will be okay, what is Sam Presti doing? How is he doing this? How is he accumulating all these assets while winning?
Yep.
Because look, they have a potential dynasty window with all of their key players under the age of 26. they have the potential to be a dynasty. It's going to be tough with all the second apron financial rules now. Hard to keep all these players together because everyone's getting paid.
Yep.
And there's all these roster restrictions if you pay too much.
Yep.
But they have the biggest opportunity out of all the teams left to have a dynasty, I think, because just their window is so large because they're all so young. But could mean a lot if they win it this year, man.
For
could
sure.
Mean a lot.
Oh, I think this is the first time in a while where we've got 4 teams that, well, firstly, none of their star players have a championship under their belt. We've got 4 teams that just has so much riding on for them to win it this year and has so much cultural impact for them to win it if they get it done.
I'm keen to see what happens. Keen to see how it shapes
got
up.
me super excited. But hopefully it's the T-Wolves. Hopefully it's the T-Wolves.
Let's hope, bro.
Should we rank that from where we reckon it would be most important, like best to worst for each franchise? So it's like 1 to 4. Who do you reckon has the best, obviously the biggest impact for them to win to the least amount of impact for them to win? So I reckon at the 1 spot, I think New York definitely is at number 1, just like what we touched on. The biggest market. The city would break if New York won. At number 2, I'd like to say Minnesota at number 2, just with everything we touched on. Pacers at 3, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder at 4.
I think I've got the Knicks at 1 for sure, just the big market.
Yep.
Number 2, I've got the Timberwolves.
Yep.
Just with the fact that if you win, I reckon is automatically face of the league.
Yep.
Number 3, I've got the Thunder.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
just because it's it's OKC's first chip.
Yep.
And just the potential to set up the dynasty.
Yep.
And then 4, I've got the Pacers. Pacers are the team who I think can just be that one and done out of all the other teams.
For sure. That's actually a good call. That's a good call. I like that. I like that a lot.
All right. So the All-NBA teams were just announced. First, second, and third team. And it got me thinking. Like LeBron got his 21st All-NBA selection.
Out of 22 years.
Out of 22 years. That's 21 in a row.
Yep.
So the only year he didn't was his rookie year. It got me thinking, which current players have the most All-NBA selections for their career?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got a top 5 here. I'll go through it for you. So at number 5, we've got James Harden. 8 times he's been selected, and he got selected again with the third team. So that's 8 All-NBA selections for him across Houston. I don't know if he got one when he was at Brooklyn, but now
Philly.
Oh, he probably got one with Philly.
Yeah.
And then now Clippers. So consistent over the period of time.
Harden is a superstar. That man gets so much hate for the way he's played and stuff, but I don't think we've seen anyone really like him with his game style, the way he dominated the league for so long. That guy is a special talent.
He is, he's the best ISO player of our generation.
His prime is so underrated, I think. Like that, he's really the only realistic player that pushed that KD Steph-led Warriors team. He was the only one who had a chance, and that says something about how great he was in his prime.
Oh, say what you want about him, but prime Harden was unguardable. Yeah, especially from 2014 to 2020. He was a lot.
Guys putting their hands behind their back.
Yep.
Like, I know we're big on this foul grifting, but I think that's more on the refs calling it than the actual players.
Yep.
If the players are smart enough to do it and good enough to do it, then why would they stop?
Yep.
It's on the refs to stop them from doing that.
Yep. Number 4, Chris Paul, 11 All-NBA selections. CP3's run with the Hornets, Clippers, Rockets, and a handful of teams, makes him one of the most consistent point guards ever. 11-time All-NBA, that just speaks for itself, his longevity and his impact as a playmaker. Tied with Chris Paul, and number 3, Kevin Durant, 11 All-NBA selections. He's made it with OKC, Golden State, and Brooklyn, and I think last year with Phoenix.
Yep.
Didn't make it this year, but he's at 11. Scoring titles, MVP, and he's probably the most elite, efficiency scorer of all time, you'd say. Like, he's so
standing
gifted.
at 7 foot and has the handle of a 6'3" guard. It's crazy.
He's just a walking bucket and just kept getting those All-NBA nods.
He just loves basketball. He just loves basketball. That's all he wants to do.
We love it. Number 2. So tied on 11 All-NBA selections as well, Stephen Curry.
Yes, sir.
So changed the game, 4 rings, 2 MVPs, and now 11 All-NBA teams. He got the All-NBA second team.
Yep.
Was it second? Yeah, this season.
Second.
And, he was the engine behind the Warriors dynasty. So that's 11 All-NBA selections for him. And still adding to the total. He's going to get more.
He ain't stopping.
And number 1. So let me just remind you. At 2, 3, and 4, we're all tied on 11. At number 1, we got LeBron James with 21 All-NBA selections. 21. Most in NBA history, not just among active players, but everyone.
Yep.
The next best is Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Kareem, who had 16. But yeah, LeBron's All-NBA run literally has spanned over 3 different
crazy.
eras. And 40-year-old LeBron just got All-NBA second team. I actually had him in my All-NBA first team when we did our prediction.
you
I had
did.
him.
Yeah.
Donovan got the nod
Mhm.
in the NBA first team, but I had LeBron instead.
Yeah.
But that just shows you the greatness and longevity of this man.
The man is a unicorn, bro. The man is the king. There's nothing you can say to discredit what he has done over his career. The guy is truly special and is the greatest player to ever touch the court in the NBA.
It's insane. So speaking of All-NBA teams, they just dropped and we're thinking of doing a draft. So Jakey and I are taking turns building a starting 5 using only players from this year's first, second and third teams. No repeats, 1 pick at a time. And once we've got our squads, we might chuck them on the socials as well. And you guys decide who has the better starting 5 out of the All-NBA teams.
Little rock, paper, shoot again.
All right, let's do
rock,
it.
paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
God damn.
Give me at the 5, Nikola Jokic straight off the bat, bro. Give me my boy Jokic.
I need to keep track of what you have.
Jokic at the center.
So you got him at the 5. Okay,
Yes,
what's
sir.
mine? I'm going to go... Where am I going to go? Maybe I'll go... You went Jokic. I'll go SGA. SGA at my 1.
Yep. All right.
So that's 2 first teams taken.
At the 4, give me Giannis.
Yeah, that's valid.
Ain't nobody
Shit.
beating Giannis and Jokic, bro. That shit crazy.
Damn it. Okay, I got SGA.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go my man, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Guards are taken care of.
Yeah, geez, guards are taken care of very early. At the 3, give me the GOAT. Give me the king, LeBron James. Bro, there's just no... That 3 is just already just unstoppable.
I'm going to go at my 3. I'm going to go Ant. Ant at my 3.
You're a dick.
Ant.
You're a shit bloke.
Okay, I need some big men now.
You just ruined me. You suck,
damn.
man.
Yes, sir.
God damn. I think, look, this might be a little controversial.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to save that. Right now, give me Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell at my 2.
Yep.
All right. I've built
Jeez.
down. I've gone center downwards.
I'm going to go Jason Tatum at my 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I was thinking him. I'm like, can I plug him in? But I'm like, that's a big team.
Tatum at my 4.
But I think I've got the missing piece to tie this team all together.
Okay.
Because we've seen him. He's one of the best things since Steve Nash.
Yep.
And is a 6'7" guard doing crazy things. And that's Tyrese Halliburton at my 1.
Damn.
I think I could have gone Brunson, who I think is a better player.
Did you say 6'7"?
No, I think he's 6'6". I misspoke on that. 6'6" guard.
Okay.
Tyrese Halliburton, one of the best playmakers we've seen in a while. I think this will just combine this whole team together. You don't need someone who's so ball dominant like a Brunson in this squad when I've got Donovan, LeBron, Giannis, Jokic. This guy will pair them all together. Tyrese Halliburton at my 1.
All right. And I'm going to go with at my center. I think I do need... Oh, no, I've got some good defenders. I'm going to go Karl Anthony Towns.
Cat at the 5.
Cat at the 5. He's dominating in the playoffs, bro.
Good on him.
So that's what I've got. SGA, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns. That's my 5.
I've got Tyrese Halliburton, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic.
Jeez.
That team in 4, baby. Give me that in 4.
Nah,
Yum,
bro.
yum, yum.
Oh, wait. Do I get ball first?
Oh, live at 12. I get ball first.
We'll chuck that out. See who
chuck
the
that out.
dribblers think have the better 5.
That's quality. I like that. That's a good.
quality.
Those are some good squads right there. That's quality. Cade Stiff, all NBA snub of the talk and dribble team.
We love it. Last All NBA segment. So there were 9 other players who received All NBA votes who didn't quite make the cut. I'm going to get you to guess those 9 players.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. All right.
So, have a guess.
Straight off the bat, because I actually had him in my All NBA second team, which I didn't like, but for some reason I put him there. Jaylen Brown.
Nope.
Did
get not receive. I'm not sure if he qualified. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was shocked when I saw this, but did not receive a vote. Yep.
Oh, I could be wrong. Yeah, that could be on me.
Did not receive a vote.
Did not receive a vote. Devin Booker, did he qualify?
Devin Booker is on there.
Okay.
He's at 9. He got 2 votes.
Got 2 votes.
2 votes.
They were pretty average though, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's snubbed because he gets snubbed every year. Domantas Sabonis.
Domantas Sabonis is there. He's at 5. He received 4 votes.
The disrespect to that man is
know.
uncanny. What about, I don't know if he qualified. I don't think he did, but I'm just going to say his name just in case.
Okay.
Paolo Banchero?
Paolo Banchero did not.
No, I don't think he qualified.
Think he would have qualified.
I think he missed quite a few games.
Yeah.
What about a Trae Young?
Trae Young is on there. He's at
Respect.
8. 3 votes he received.
That bloke, there's a lot of disrespect getting
Right,
thrown
at the end of the day, he was probably a top 15
I know,
player.
but he's just like, he does some crazy stuff.
It's good just to get a vote.
100%.
Right.
The number one guard for the best regular season team, Darius Garland.
Darius Garland's on there. He received 6 votes at number 4.
Okay. How many players do I have left?
You have, so the number 1 player, 2, 3, 6, 7.
Okay.
So you have 5 players left.
Oh, Şengün.
Şengün is at number 1. He
He's
received
number 1.
58 votes. I would love to see
Stiff.
how close he was to
Very
Colin
stiff.
Towns. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's second has 55 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Third has 15 votes. And then 6th and 7th have 4 and 3.
Okay. West teams. Oh, Triple J.
Yeah.
Really want a depoy?
He's at 2. 55 votes
55.
he received. Yep. So
Jeez.
Şengün and Jaren Jackson Jr. were the next 2.
Got robbed of a
close.
bag.
Yep.
Got robbed of a bag, not making an All-NBA team.
And then
Poor guy.
now there's a big drop off.
Okay.
So that 3 is 15 votes.
All right. What have I got? Oh, still in the playoffs? I don't know. Would a Pascal Siakam?
Pascal Siakam's in there. He's at
Ooh.
6. He received 4 votes. I actually
Okay.
wouldn't have thought he got any votes, but he usually seems to do well in the All-NBA.
Yeah.
He has more respect in the All-NBA than the All-Star.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Love that.
Okay.
So how many I've got left?
So you got number 3 with 15 votes and number 7 with 3 votes. 1 West, 1 East.
1 West, 1 East. Jesus. Was the West team a good team?
Yep.
All right, like a really good team?
No.
High level?
No. Oh, no,
Like-
they were good. They made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs.
Both playoff teams.
I feel like I'm missing something very obvious.
They're 2 players you wouldn't necessarily think. One of them I definitely didn't think he'd get votes, but the third bloke I definitely thought would get votes for sure. He had a great year.
So 1 West, 1 East.
Yep.
Don't tell me did a Derek White
No,
get all
no
NBA
Derek
votes?
White.
No. Okay.
Okay, front court.
Front court.
Both players, front court.
Front court, both players, West. Who have I got here? It wasn't a Chet. Surely he didn't qualify. He missed a heap of games.
No chat. Both teams are out of the playoffs.
Both teams are out of the playoffs. So who's out of the playoffs for the West? So Houston Rockets, no one for them. Memphis Grizzlies, we already got Triple J. The Warriors, Draymond?
No Draymond.
Okay, so no one for the Warriors. Oh, did Jimmy Butler qualify?
No. Oh, I don't know if he got. No. He wouldn't have qualified.
No,
he was out the whole year with Miami.
100%.
No, Jimmy.
Lakers. No,
no
because
Lakers.
Luka didn't qualify.
No Lakers.
I'm missing a team.
You're missing a team.
I'm missing a team.
Who else got eliminated?
Who am I missing right now?
Who are you missing?
Who am I missing right now?
Who got eliminated in the first round?
In the first round. Right, this is doing my head
Do you
in.
want me to tell you the team? The Clippers.
Oh my god, the Clippers. Kawhi.
No,
Zubac.
Zubac.
Far
15 votes he
15
received.
votes,
He was
Zubac.
at 3.
Didn't even think of
So now
Zubac.
this player,
So
front
now for the
court,
East.
in the
Front
East,
court.
team who's been eliminated. Who is it?
Jared Allen didn't get votes, did he?
No.
No.
No, Jared Allen.
France didn't qualify.
No.
No one for the Bucks. No one for the Celtics. It couldn't be
No.
anyone for the Celtics. Jeez, this is grinding my gears.
What team? If I tell you the team, we'll just give it away. I
Yeah, I
thought this
know.
guy didn't actually have that great of a year. by his
Okay.
standards.
Oh, really?
Let me just tell you the team.
I'm trying to
Take
think. Who'd they
too long.
verse? Who'd they verse?
Who they play?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just give
Oh,
you the
okay,
team.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Miami.
Bam. Obviously.
Oh my God, you're
Bro,
terrible.
I was shocking. It's tough. There's so many blokes.
Yeah, but you didn't even get the team, bro.
I know. I literally forgot about Miami completely. Just forgot they were existed.
Yeah.
Bam. No
Yep.
shit. Didn't actually think he qualified. I just assumed so many blokes didn't qualify.
I know.
It was crazy.
I know.
Bam Adebayo. There we go. All right.
All right.
I'm surprised. So Jaylen Brown must not have qualified.
No, he didn't qualify.
Definitely not. All right. Fair
Cool.
enough.
So let's move on. SGA just took home the MVP. So it's only right we stock up his season compared to the last 10 seasons.
Yes,
so
sir.
I've ranked the last 10 MVP seasons. So where does Shay's 2025 land on that list?
Okay.
So I'll go through from 10 to 1 and give you this list.
All
number 10 is Nikola Jokic 2024. So last season.
Okay.
He was efficient and pretty unflashy, but it was undeniable that he was the MVP.
Yep.
He averaged 26, 12, and 9. So that shows you how good this list is.
Oh, yeah.
That was at 58%. So led Denver to 57 wins, nearly averaged a triple-double. But the narrative wasn't quite there with these other ones.
Yep.
But just as effective.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, James Harden, 2018. Best ISO scorer of our era. And he showed it. He was in full force this year.
Mm-hmm.
Averaged 31 points, 9 assists, 5.5 rebounds. Rockets won 65 games that year.
That's impressive.
This was definitely the most unguardable version of Harden. They would have beaten the Warriors if Chris Paul probably didn't get injured. They were up 3-2 that year. So this is the best version of
And what,
of
they got
James
the
Harden.
1 seed, didn't they, that year?
They got the 1
They
seed.
got the 1 seed over
Yeah.
the Warriors.
Over KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond, Warriors.
That's
so
crazy.
it was insane. Number 8, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2019. This was his first MVP season. Averaged 28 points, 12.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 60% field goal percentage. This was definitely the Greek freak breakout year.
Yeah.
And led the Bucks to the best record in the league.
Yep.
Number 7, Joel Embiid, 2023. So
Mhm.
he was the scoring champ, and he was probably the most dominant inside presence we've seen since Shaq this year.
He was a ball.
A lot of people think that he was more, overcoming the Jokic voter fatigue than
Yeah.
Jokic itself.
Maybe a little bit.
But it was a career best season for Embiid, and people probably got to remember that he was elite this year.
Mm-hmm.
Carried, it was his career best season, carried Sixers offensively and with his defense as well.
Yep.
33 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 55% from the field. Was a beast.
100%. It didn't help him that year that Jokic won the chip.
No, it
That's
didn't.
what hurt.
And
is
they shit the bed again in the
Yeah,
playoffs. So,
for sure.
and his body let him down. So it was, it was a classic ending to the season with
Yeah.
Philly, but he finally got his MVP.
We can't undervalue what he did. There was actual conversations between him and Jokic that season. So he was super special.
And a big man of his size, averaging the most points in the league and staying healthy.
Yep.
That's off to the man.
Deserved.
At number 6, I've got SGA's MVP season in 2025 this year.
Ooh.
So two-way superstar season.
Mhm.
32 points, 6 assists, 5.5 rebounds. He's led this young OKC team to the best record in the league.
Yep.
He's an elite scorer, one of the clutchest players, and he's a lockdown defender. So, got him at number 6. Number 5, got Nikola Jokic, 2021 year. So this was his first MVP. This was his first MVP by a center since Shaq. So this was an historic year. He averaged 26 points, 11 rebounds, 8.5 assists. Played all 72 games that year, so that was the shorter season.
Yep.
And he just had an unmatched efficiency year. No one was close to him.
Yep.
And it was the most elite passing we've seen from a 5. Obviously, he's just gotten better and better, but that year it was crazy.
He was very special.
Yeah, it's crazy. Number 4, got Giannis, 2020 season. So this was the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year season. So that was insane. He averaged 30 points, 13.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists on 55% shooting.
Yep.
Dominated on both ends. Bucks had the best net rating in the league by far, and they were the best team that year.
Yep.
He was insane on both ends.
Yeah.
Number 3, Russell Westbrook, 2017. Triple-double history, and that was the craziest MVP narrative that year.
Yeah.
31 points, 10.5 rebounds, 10.5 assists as a point guard. First triple-double average since 1962. Carried the Thunder. He only got the 6th seed, but carried that team.
That team was terrible.
Oh, terrible.
That roster was shocking.
They only got 47 wins, but carried them to the 6th seed.
Yeah.
And people forget, he averaged 37 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 11 assists.
Bro, that is insane work. You can talk about stat padding as much as you want, but you still got to get those stats. That man in his prime was insane. He was doing things that we've never seen before.
Exactly.
So, crazy.
Crazy. Number 2, I got Nikola Jokic, 2022. So this was probably his statistical peak year, all-time advanced metrics. He was off the charts. First player with 2,000 assists, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists in a season. absurd efficiency, impact,
Yep.
and that was actually without Jamal Murray and MPJ that year.
Yep.
So he averaged 27 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists.
Yep.
Without his two other best players with him. So that's at number 2. And number 1, I've got Stephen Curry 2016. So this was the unanimous MVP season, 73-9 Warriors. He averaged the 30 points, 6.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds on 50, 40, 90 splits.
Yep.
First unanimous MVP ever, changed the sport this season with his shooting and efficiency.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, he was the first unanimous MVP, and there hasn't been one since. Obviously, he doesn't have the crazy stats like these other players. But that year, he was essentially doing it in 3 quarters.
It was a season where you had to be there to watch it.
Bro,
it was crazy.
And they were blowing out teams every night. So he wasn't even playing 4th quarters. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I got him at number 1.
I love it. That's a quality list. So we had Shea rank at 6.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
I think that's a good spot for him. He had a really good season, but
Yep.
we can't undervalue what these guys have done in the past years. They've won MVPs for a reason. They've all been, at some point, the best player in the league, and I love it. And Steph winning unanimous is just different. He has to be there. I love it.
That's it.
How crazy is that we haven't seen LeBron win an MVP for more than 10 years?
I know. He hasn't been the
That
MVP of the
feels gross. I feel
does.
gross knowing that. I hate it. Well, to look at that, to actually lead into a LeBron segment led, I think it's well known that the definition of voter fatigue, when you think of that, your eyes go to LeBron James because arguably he's been the best player in the league since he stepped foot on the court at the age of 18 and until now when he's age 40. So I wanted to go through the last few years that blokes have won the MVP, where LeBron James should have won these. Start us off, 2010, 2011 was the year Derrick Rose won it. So the narrative was huge for him, the youngest player to ever win an NBA MVP, which was well-deserved. He had an outstanding year, averaging 25 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and nearly 8 assists per game. Also led him to a 62-20 record.
Yeah, they were the best
in
team
the
in
East.
the East that year, for
100%.
sure.
What he did was insane, but then I think we need to look at what LeBron did that year as well, averaging 27 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, and 7 assists per game. So it was better statistically in all categories apart from assists where they were practically the same. Had the second best record in the East with 58-24. That man was pure dominance, and that's probably the peak of LeBron we've seen in terms of athleticism and pure dominance from a basketball stance. Was so far the best player in the world. And I think if he didn't have any MVPs leading up to that, that man definitely would have won it. And voter fatigue definitely hit him for sure that season. Number 2, this one's tough because we touched on James Harden's MVP year in 2017-2018. Harden was insane, averaging 35-9 as a guard, led his team to the number 1 seed in the West at 65-17, was insane. However, LeBron, playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers, had another resurgence of his career, heading to the Cavs and redefining his game from this athletic beast to this point guard genius that he turned himself into, averaging 27.5 points per game, 8.6 rebounds per game, and 9.1 assists per game. As a forward/guard doing crazy things with such a limited roster around him.
Every year, bro, that he was just carrying that 100%. Cavs roster to the finals. And that was what he was
for sure.
mid-30s.
100%. Also touching on, he played all 82 games that season. Every single game. We've been huge on blokes load managing and stuff. And people like to say that LeBron load managed. Played all 82 games that year in his mid-30s and averaged these stats. Should have been the MVP. Also, another one is early 2019-2020. The Giannis, the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo, won the MVP, averaging a whopping 29.5 points per game, 13.6 boards per game, 5.6 assists per game, and led his team to the number 1 record in the Eastern Conference. However, there was a man by the name of LeBron James playing for the Lakers that year, averaging 25 points per game, 8 boards per game, and 10 assists per game.
Yeah.
Insane work. Literally led the league in assists that season and literally led the Lakers to the top of the Western Conference as well that year.
That was tough. That was, as I said, that was Giannis' MVP and Defensive Player of the Year
100%.
Season. He was crazy.
Second consecutive MVP as well for him.
Yeah.
But I think LeBron James got overlooked heavily that season.
That was LeBron with the Lakers. People forget how good he was early on with the Lakers.
Before Solomon Hill destroyed my man, this guy was insane. All right, we look at early LeBron in the Lakers. His athleticism was still there.
Yeah,
this was peak LeBron still.
Yeah.
So that year he was insane, and he was still the two-way player that we knew he's primed to be.
Yep.
Number 4, 2005/2006, Steve Nash. Winning the MVP, averaging 18.8 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, and 10.5 assists per game. Like that's a good season. Led his team to the 2nd seed in the West. Like good stuff. That's a double-double right there. Really impressive. But just at age 21, LeBron James averaged 31 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 7 assists per game. At age 21, literally established himself as arguably the best player in the league at that point and was an absolute superstar, living up to the hype of the chosen one, and falls to the grace of Steve Nash, averaging a 19-point double-double.
Bro, that's insane.
Like,
he was far out. He was so much better. Like, at least statistically, way better than Steve Nash.
Way better.
Crazy.
And that gave Steve Nash back-to-back MVPs that season. Complete robbery.
He wouldn't even be in the discussion if he was averaging that
100%.
Today.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this one's tough. 2014-2015, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He was a superstar that year. That was the year they just broke out as one of the best teams in the league and won the championship that year as well. Steph averaged 24 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. However, LeBron was also a different beast, and this is probably peak of LeBron's powers as well. 25 points per game, 6 boards, and 7 assists to go along with it. And the team he led to that finals was crazy, demolished by injuries as well. LeBron, I think if you watch it, we've never seen a bloke step onto the court and just insert fear into other players like Cleveland LeBron did. He was a master of the game. He wasn't just relying on his athleticism. This was pure IQ that he used during these times and could have easily won the MVP that season.
That'd have him up to, 9 if you won all those?
100%. Literally, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. The man would be the GOAT, but voter fatigue hit this man heavily, and he arguably could be a 9-time MVP. It's pretty insane. And there's probably more to put in there as well, but we just limited it to 5 today. So there we go.
Well, that was that's all we have today, man. That's everything. It was good to see that LeBron's been stitched up a few times. Voter fatigue really kicked in for him.
Time.
But thanks for tuning in, squad. It's been a pleasure as always. Another NBA app done. Keep tuning in to the playoffs. Next time we record the finals, maybe the matchups may be set, but we'll see. We'll see how far these series go.
100%.
Up the Timberwolves, up the Knicks.
Yes, sir.
Definitely going for the Knicks.
That'd be elite. Knicks v Timberwolves finals. This time next Tuesday, we'll be sitting here. Fingers crossed. That's what we've got in our hands. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Yeah. We out.